So let's wrap up just in time by talking about operations planning and master scheduling. So planning and scheduling in the just-in-time environment is a little bit easier in just-in-time because the requirements for the parts and the material can be tied directly to each end unit. And remember, because we're producing in smaller lot sizes, that makes it a little bit easier to plan for production. So when we look at things like the master schedule, it's very similar to companies that use a master production schedule and MRP. As I mentioned before, one of the differences is the planning horizon. Just-in-time uses a much shorter planning horizon, 2 to 3 months, instead of that standard planning horizon. So in a just-in-time environment, lead times are probably much shorter compared to that standard 6 to 18 month medium range planning horizon, where you have an opportunity to have products be received in with a longer lead time. But everything else is almost the same. You have a master schedule that are probably done in weekly time buckets, time fences, and that type of language still applies in a just-in-time environment. But there is one thing that is unique to just-in-time, and that is what we call the final assembly schedule. So we have the master production schedule, right? That tells us how much, when, and what is going to be produced. And just in time, we use a final assembly schedule. And this is an exact statement of the final products that are to be assembled. The final assembly schedule is stated on a daily basis, but more often goes only about a week into the future. And that final assembly schedule is what we call level scheduled. And when something is level scheduled in the just-in-time environment, it basically says that we're going to produce these products in an order based on inventory levels. So whatever we have the least amount of, that is what we're going to produce first, and then so forth and so on. Now let's talk about the group technology production system. I mentioned this briefly in another video, but this is specific to the just-in-time environment. The idea is you're using the same essential processing sequence. So setup time is reduced. The flow of material is not interrupted. Things are pretty much the same because of the nature of the product or like products that you're producing. This group technology, again, in the example I used earlier, the different versions of the iPad and let's say the iPhone can probably be put into a production system where all of these products can be produced together. This saves time and money in so many different ways when it comes to the just-in-time environment. Again, we're about minimizing waste and reducing cost, reducing setup time and flow time. And the group technology production system is another way that this happens in the just-in-time environment. So that is all for operations management. There's a lot, as you can see, that goes into planning a product to be on the shelf when you and I go to the store to purchase it. And this process takes place behind every product or service that we tend to either buy or enjoy at some point in our lives. So think about all of the supply chains and logistics and forecasting and facilities and operations and location analysis, capacity planning, all of these things that are taking place behind every product or service. If you feel like when you go to the store to purchase something that is actually there, it's because someone is doing their job well in the supply chain. So I hope you enjoyed this course. Feel free to leave me feedback. If you have a special request for a course or specific content, just let me know, shoot me a message. I'll be glad to teach on the topic if I have the expertise on the topic. Again, my name is Derek J. Haywood. I appreciate you watching. Take care.